Greetings, everyone. It's Dr. Ruben West. I'm live from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm excited about being here. 2021 is going to bring us, and I'm excited about the new possibilities that we're going to face in 2021. And so for a minute, I want to talk to you about taking the limits off. It's 2021, and I want to talk to you about taking the limit off. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my page and just make sure it's on. And then I want to make sure that I can hear it. Let me see. Can I hear it? Yep, I can hear it. Okay, perfect. And then what I want you to do is, if you're listening, just tell me where you're tuning in from. Just let me know. And then do me a favor and share this video, because I promise you, I've got some great information to give you about taking the limits off in 2021. Now, check this out. I flew out of Chicago, flew to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and I went from Ethiopia to Nairobi, Kenya. I'm here safe. It was great. There was no issues. Let me tell you, though, the first time I went to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, I was on my way to Burundi, Africa. And we were in Chicago. The flight was delayed probably about 6 hours. So we were on the plane for about 3 hours, and they had us get off. They gave us meal vouchers. We all ate, used the bathroom or whatever. And while I was out there, I'm a speaker. So, I was talking to everybody. I met everybody. We got back on the plane. We're in our seats, and we're getting ready to take off. And then check this out. We get, oh, hey, what's going on, Ronnie Guest? Sakoni Prince from Mobile. We take off, we're flying. I go to sleep, we're doing all this stuff. And then when we get ready to land, they gave us these little towels to wipe our face and all this stuff. We're about to land in Ethiopia. And as we're about to land in Ethiopia, they start raising up the window shades. They had closed it down so everybody could sleep on there. What's going on, Kim Schimmel? Thank you for tuning in. And so they started raising up the window shades, and I looked over and I said out of my mouth, listen to this, I said, they have buildings in Ethiopia? Watch this. And the people around me like, where are you from? And listen, they were like, did you really just say that? And the reason I said it is because, number one, I've never been, but number two, all I've ever seen about Ethiopia was this kid starving, and he's got the big stomach and the flies on his face, and he doesn't have enough energy to knock the fly off his face. And so that's all I had ever observed about Ethiopia, because I let somebody else tell it to me, right? And so I want you to write this down. Somebody else's opinion is a poor substitute for the truth. Right? They fed me this line that there's nothing in Ethiopia, and I believed it. And when I went and saw for myself, I realized that it wasn't true, that their opinion is a poor substitute for the truth. Sometimes you just have to figure it out for yourself. It's 2021. The reason I'm telling you that right now is because some of us are going to have to figure out 2021 for ourselves. We can't go on what somebody else said. We can't go on what somebody else did. We can't go on what somebody told us. Their opinion is a poor substitute for the truth, and you're going to have to get out there and do it yourself. Now, watch this. Sometimes we get people that want to throw in the towel, and they've tried some stuff, and they're literally to the point where they're ready to throw in the towel. And the reason I say that is because I've talked to several people as 2020 came to a close, and they were talking about, I'm done with this. I'm over this. I'm throwing in the towel. And I was like, what? And it didn't surprise me that one person said it, but when more than 5 people said it, it kind of bothered me. And I started thinking, why is it that they're so focused on giving up, throwing in the towel? I don't understand it. And then I realized it, and think about this. When you focus on how far you have to go, as opposed to looking at how far you come, sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes you want to throw in the towel. But here's what I can tell you, that there's not one thing in your life that you've ever faced, no matter how hard it was, that took you out. And so you're stronger than you think you are. And I don't want you thinking about throwing in the towel, because here's what I know. Somebody put this in the feed. Quitting won't speed up the process. As a matter of fact, it starts you back over again. Quitting won't speed up the process. And so I was supposed to be in Nairobi January of 2020, and everything happened, and then it got delayed, and then the corona happened, and I had an event set up at the Trademark Hotel in July here in Kenya, and that didn't happen and all that stuff. And all I was doing was watch this. I'm just marking time. I'm just waiting for them to let me out the gates, because here's what I know. Quitting won't speed up the process. I'm ready to get going. I know that there's some people who want to come to Nairobi, who want to speak, who want to tour, who want to get into some different businesses or talk about their products and services. And so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to open that door for those individuals in 2021. And I'm here doing it already. Now watch this. I remember when I was younger and I was watching TV, and it was Michael Jackson on TV, and it was the first time ever, and he busted out the moonwalk. Nobody had ever seen the moonwalk before, and Michael Jackson busted out the moonwalk. If you remember that, throw that in there. Just put, I saw the moonwalk. If you were there live when you saw him the first time bust out the moonwalk, just put it in there. I saw the moonwalk. Now watch this. It was so smooth. And let me tell you what made the moonwalk so cool, because it looked like they should be going forward, but in reality, they were going backwards. Did you hear what I said? It was so smooth because Mike made it look so smooth, because it looked like he should be going forward, but in reality, he was moving backwards, and it threw all these people off. And they were like, man, that's absolutely amazing. And then what happened is all of these people started practicing the moonwalk. You'd see it in dance competitions. People would pop it up every now and then. They bust out the moonwalk. And they loved it. And so Arlene Collins said she saw it. Ronnie Guest said he saw it. Donald Toll said he saw the moonwalk. Kim saw it. Jen saw it. Yes, I saw the moonwalk. It looked like he should be going forward, but in reality, he was going backwards. And then I realized something, you guys. There's a lot of people moonwalking in their life. There's a lot of people moonwalking in their business. Do you hear what I'm saying? They're moonwalking. In other words, they make everybody think that they're going forward, and it looks like they're going forward, but in reality, they're actually moving backwards. And guess what? You know why they do it? They do it because people like it. People like it when you're successful. They like it when they see you doing something good. So they make it look like they're moving forward, but in the reality, they're actually moving backwards. And so I'm talking to somebody today, 2021, when we're talking about taking the limits off, because time's up for making it look like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Time's up for making it look like you're having the success you want. Time's up from making it look like you're taking the steps or making the connections that you want. I don't care how it looks. I care how it is. And so what I want you to think about in 2021, who is it that you're going to connect with that's going to help you get to where you need to be? Now, everybody watches these different seminars and webinars, and people talk about coaching and a business coach, a relationship coach, personal development coach, all these different things. And so many people watch it and they never reach out to anybody. You know why? Because they're making it look like they're going forward. And they don't ever want anyone to know that they're actually not going forward. And so what they do is they get people to think they're going forward, and people like them. And they say, oh, this is great, and I love what you're doing. Listen to this, you guys, because this is important. There's a difference between being liked and being valued. Get rid of the people in 2021 that just like you, but they don't value you. Because that's a complete difference. There's people who may like you, and that's cool, but we need people who value us. And the people who value you won't judge you because you're not moving forward. You know what they're going to do? They're going to try and find strategies to help you move that way. And so if you feel like you can't be honest with the people that are around you because they may judge you and you want them to like you, you don't need them anyway. Because there's a difference between being liked and being valued. You want people who's going to value you, not just like you. And here's another thing. Why are we so afraid to let people know that we're not moving ahead or we're not getting the results that we want? Why are we so afraid of that? Because if you can't be honest, you can't be healed. Y'all hear that? If you can't be honest, you can't be helped. And so you can keep moonwalking if you want to and keep pretending, but the only person being hurt is really you. Because if you can't be honest, you can't be healed. And then here's what happens. We want to pray and pray, oh, God, help me. And God, please help me do this and help me do this and bring the right people in my life and bring the right people to me. And I promise you, he's probably brought some people to you. But if you can't be honest with them, they can't help you. And so God doesn't bless you based on your your resources. And so some people say, well, I need more money and I need more this and I need more people. I need more connections. No, God doesn't bless you based on your resources. He blesses you based on your faith. And so what we have to do in 2021 is we have to have a higher level of faith. We have to connect on a deeper level, and we've got to be willing to be honest, because the people that he sends to you, they don't have a problem with the fact that you're not where you're supposed to be. They know that you're part of their assignment. And so all I want you to do is think about, what do you need to do to take the limits off in 2021? And one of the things you may need to do is connect with someone that can help you. Now, here's what happens. And I got to tell you this, because there's a lot of areas in our lives where we're just gifted. There's a lot of areas in our lives where we're talented. And how many of us know somebody who, watch this, was extremely talented, but they refused to work hard? I talk to a lot of coaches, and they say, man, it's hard to coach the kids who are really talented or gifted because they don't want to put in the work. And they say, hey, give me somebody who's willing to work hard over somebody who's just talented. Because if you're talented and you won't work hard, I don't want you. If you're gifted and you won't work hard, I don't want you. And so if you're gifted, a lot of times that's what's going to hold you back from taking the limits off. You know why? Because when people are gifted and they're used to being in positions where everybody's praising them and acknowledging them for the things that they do great, they don't want to go back to the things that they're not great at. They don't want to go back and put the work in on the things that they're not great at. And so you know what they keep doing? They just keep doing what they're good at. And so what you're going to have to do in 2021 to take the limits off is that you don't have to be the most talented, and you don't have to be the most gifted. A lot of that stuff we can't control, but you can be the most hardworking. And so you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to be willing to work hard and outwork the competition? And a lot of times, listen to this, you guys, a lot of times, have you ever met somebody who comes up and tells you what they're going to do? I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you watch me and watch this. You already know it's nonsense just from their energy when they're speaking about it. I hate busting people's bubble, but a lot of people reach out to me, Dr. West, I want to do this. I'm going to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to help, and I want to work with you, and I want to go with you. And I encourage everybody, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. But a lot of times I know already that it's not going to happen just from their energy by the way they introduce it. I know already it's not going to happen. And so what you have to realize is that when it comes to what you're going to do as you look at 2021, your energy introduces you before you ever say a word. And so what you have to do is you got to get your energy right. You got to get your mind right. You have to make the decision that you are going to do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm not trying to tell you what you're going to do, but what I am going to tell you is that in order to take the limits off, you have to have a commitment to the commitment, right? And most of the time, I've found that people make decisions based on what happened to them in the past. So this happened, so now I'm going to do this. And this happened, and now I'm going to do this. And most people don't have the ability to think completely in their imagination. You know why? Because they're stuck on logic. Somebody put that in the feed. Some people are stuck on logic. Albert Einstein said logic will take you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere, anywhere. You understand? Logic will take you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Like logic, when I wanted to start the martial arts school, a lot of people came to me with logic and said, hey, you've never done this before. There's people who tried it and it didn't work for them. They had more experience than you. They had more money than you. They had different partners than you have. Why would you do this? You could come teach at my place. I could do all that. That was very logical. But the problem is I had a different imagination. And so now 23 plus years later, the martial arts is still going strong. The school is still going strong. And it's being ran by my partner, Kevin Wilson. Why? Because I didn't listen to their interpretation of their opinion. I wanted to find out my own truth. And so most of the time, when you're making decisions on what happened in the past, that's not going to be where you want to go. You have to make the decision based on where you want to go in the future. And so if you want to go to the next level in the future, you have to start making some next level decisions. Come on, that seems to be a 101, next level decisions. And then let's be honest, 2020 smacked some people upside the head, including me, right? And people remember 2019 was like 2020, the year of clear vision. 20, right? Everybody had that 2020, right? I said that too. But and then 2020 happened, and people said, well, 2020 was the opposite of the year of clear vision, and I disagree. I think 2020 was still the year to clear vision. I think it really helped us shine a light on and shine a magnifying glass on who we could count on. I think it forced countries, whole countries, to depend on themselves because they couldn't do all the shipping and receiving like they were doing before. And so they had to figure out ways to be resourceful within themselves. I think 2020 shined a light on a lot of things that were going wrong in different neighborhoods and different organizations and different countries, right? And that's not a bad thing. It just means that there's something that we have to work on. In other words, 2020 showed us a lot. 2020 showed a lot of businesses how they have to be able to adjust really quickly or they're going to go out of business. And so it's not a bad thing. It just showed us. And sometimes the reason we say it's bad is because it's showing us what we don't want to see. And so 2020 still gave us clear vision. It may not have been the vision that we wanted to see, but it was still clear vision. And now we have to be able to take what we learned from 2020, even if it hurt us, and figure out how we could use that to help someone else. And one of the things we're going to do, and everybody says this, I hate even saying this because everybody says this, but everybody says upgrade your circle, get around some different people, find some people that can help you, find some people to connect with. Everybody says it. It's common knowledge, but it's not common practice. Most people won't cut the tie. Most people won't do it. Like you're trying to go up, you're trying to change your life, and they won't let go of the people that are holding them back. And I heard Les Brown say this. He said some people won't participate in their own rescue. I mean, imagine a guy standing in the water saying, hey, in the water drowning, help, throw me the life preserver, throw it out here. And they throw it out there to him and they say, grab it and put it around you. And he says, no, get in the water and put it around me. What? What are you saying? And what I'm saying is he's right. Most people or some people won't participate in their own rescue. They won't even put on the life preserver. Watch this. They won't even be honest so they can be helped. And you know what else they won't do? They won't cut loose some of the people that's holding them back. And here's what I want you to do for 2021, especially in the month of January, because we got to kick it off in January. I want you to tune in your listening to what people are saying around you. I want you to tune your listening into what they're saying. Because some people, remember I told you, some people like you, but other people value you. And watch this. Roland said this. He said, some people don't mind if you get ahead as long as you don't get ahead of them. And so what I want you to listen for are the people who are telling you that ain't gonna work. You don't know nothing about that. You never make that happen. Don't try that again. You know what happened the last time you stepped out there. You know what happened the last time you got in a relationship. You know what happened the last time you tried to find a job. Those people, you got to cut ties. You know why? Because some people think it's their job to bring you bad news. Anybody ever know a bad news reporter? They think it's their job to bring you bad news. And they think it's their job to always tell you what you didn't do right. They think it's their job to always tell you the mistakes you made and to remind you of those mistakes just in case you forgot it. They think it's their job to tell you what you can't have or where you can't go or what you won't be or what you won't do. These people literally think it's their job and they think they're doing you a favor. And then listen, let me tell you, you won't be able to do that. And they'll tell you all the reasons why it won't work. They're the bearer of bad news. Y'all know people like that. They think it's their job. Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get a song for those individuals. And it's been out there. You've heard it. Here's what I want you to say. You're about to lose your job, right? You're about to lose your job. You got to, those bad news bearers, they got to lose their job. You got to give them another job. You got to send them on their way. You have to send them packing. You know why? Because in 2020, it's time to take the limits off. What do we got to do? We have to set bigger goals. Bigger goals. Goal. Somebody put this in the feed. Goal, G-O-A-L. Roland told me this. Roland Manning told me this. He said, G-O-A-L. Go out and live. We've been stuck in the house in 2020. 2021, it's time to go out and live. 2020, a lot of us found ourselves out of options. 2021, it's time to go out and live. A lot of us found ourselves restricted. 2021 is time to take the limits off. Now, I'm about done, but I want to tell you this one last story I heard, and I've just got to share it with you the way I heard it because it was good when I heard it. But they were talking about in France, they have a lot of art exhibits. I've never been to France. It's on my list. So they have a lot of art exhibits in France. And so they had a group of people that were touring these different art exhibits. And you know what it's like when people tour and they're in a tour group and they have a guide. The guide has a flag so that everybody can see them. And so they were all touring. And one of the displays said Checkmate. It was an art display that said Checkmate. But one of the people that was in the tour group was an international chess champion. One of the people that was in the tour group was a chess master. And so not only are they looking at all these displays over here, but they're going to go look over there and over there. But he was in tune to this display that said Checkmate. Why? Because he's an international chess champion. He's a chess master. And so he was looking at it. And let me set this up for you because I want you to understand what was going on. There was a guy and he was playing chess and he had his head in his hand like this, and he was very distraught. And the title was called Checkmate, and across from him was the devil, and they were playing for his soul. And the piece was entitled Checkmate. And so he was very frustrated because if you know anything about chess, if somebody gets you in check, that means you have to move your king. You can't leave your king there. And then if they get you in checkmate, that means the game's over. There's no moves left. And so watch this. This guy is playing the devil for his soul. And the guy is frustrated. His head is in his hands. The devil is smiling at the guy. And the pieces are on the board. And it's labeled Checkmate. And the international chess champion, the chess master, was just fascinated by this piece because how often do you find a piece that is within your specialty? And so he was looking at it. And then everybody was going around looking at the different exhibits, looking at the other sculptures and pieces and things like that. And so finally it's time for them to leave. And the guys flying the flag. You know, when they raise that flag, it's time for everybody to get together. We're moving, or we're going back to the bus. We're going to a different area. And they're looking for him and they can't find him. And they go back. The guide goes back, and guess where he was? He was still there looking at this piece entitled Checkmate, with the guy with his hands in his hands, frustrated, and the devil smiling because he knows that he just took his soul. And so the guide says, "Sir, we've got to get going. What's going on?" He said, "Well, this piece is labeled Checkmate." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, you don't know it, but I'm an international chess champion. I'm a chess master. That's what I do. Before I came here, I was teaching chess and playing chess. When I leave here, I'm going to be back teaching chess and playing chess. I'm a chess master. That's what I do on a regular basis. That's my forte. That's my specialty. That's my gift. That's what I've studied. That's where I put in the hard work. I'm a chess master." And he said, "Okay, well, what's the problem?" He said, well, the problem is this guy is frustrated because when you're in checkmate, that means the game is over because there's no more moves. And this guy is frustrated because he's playing the devil, and the devil is happy because he's just won because he has him in checkmate, which means there's no more moves. And the guy says, "I get it, but what's the problem? Why are you not going?" He said, "Well, they're going to have to rename this piece." He said, "Why?" He said, "Because I'm a chess master. And what I can see looking at the board is he still has another move. And all I'm telling you for 2021 is that 2020 may have had you down. 2020 may have tried to knock you out. 2020 may have boxed you in the corner. You may be looking at the situation and thinking, my goodness, I have nothing else to do. I have nowhere else to go. I have no more positions to move to. But God, watch this. God is the master, and I'm sure he's looking at your situation just like this chess champion looked at the chessboard and said, wait a minute, Ronnie. Wait a minute, Greg. Wait a minute, Jennifer. Wait a minute, Tracy. Wait a minute, Rosie. No, don't believe what you see. I'm a master, and I can tell you, you still have another move. And so as you take the limits off in 2021, all I want you to realize, Kim Schimmel, is that you still have another move. No matter what they told you, no matter what they tried to show you, no matter how bad it looks on the outside, you still have another move. Now, here's the thing. Somebody's going to have to relabel your situation. Somebody told you was through. Somebody said it was over. Somebody said not only were you were down and out. But guess what? The master said, no, they're wrong. Check it up. Change the name because you still have another move. I'm Dr. Ruben West. 2020 is our time to take the limits off. 2020 is our time to upgrade. 2020 is our time to find people that value us, not just like us. 2020 is our time to make a decision to cut some people free and tell them, look, you're about to lose your job. I'm not listening to your negativity anymore. I'm not listening to you complain all the time. I'm not listening to you tell me what I can't do, can't be, and can't have. You don't know my situation. I'm going to get blessed not because I have all the resources. I'm going to get blessed because of my level of faith. Remember, I told you God doesn't bless you based on your money. He blesses you based on your faith. And guess what? Based on your faith, you still have another move. You still have another move. Hey, I'm Dr. Ruben West, live from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. I'll be broadcasting from the site out there where we have the community poultry project and we're building the kitchen. Some exciting things going on. All I want you to think about is 2021. Take the limits off. Get around somebody that's going to push you to the next level, that's going to push you out of your comfort zone, that's going to make you do some things that you never thought you could do. You know why? Because no matter how bad it looks, you still have another move. Not because I said so, but because the master said so. You still have another move. Hey, I'm Dr. Ruben West. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Dorothy Davis, thanks for getting on. Kathy Barton Brown, I appreciate you. Arlene, thank you for getting on. Chickas, thank you for getting on. Mom, thank you. I appreciate you tuning in. Jen, thank you for jumping on. LaTanya Monroe, I appreciate you. I'm excited because here's what I know. This is why I love that story. When I heard it, it just blew me away because what does the Bible say? His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways. And so when we're looking at the situation, we don't see a way. But when he looks at the situation, he can see some things that we can't see. Just like on that chessboard, whoever took the time to paint all those pieces and paint that whole board, put together a whole scenario, and based on what they put together, all the people walked up, looked at it, admired it, and it said checkmate, and they went along with it until the master showed up and said, hey, wait a minute, they still have another move. Listen, I'm Ruben West. I'm telling you, live your best life. You know why? Because you only get one. There's my wife, Robin West. I love you. You know, I miss you. We're going to be back over here this summer together. But, you know, duty calls, and we got to take the limits off, and we're committed to doing that. And I hope each one of you are committed to doing the exact same thing. No limits in 2021. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you share this video. And when you share it, put a comment. Don't just share, but you got to put a comment. You got to put must listen, or you got to hear this. You know why? Because there's somebody looking at their situation and they haven't taken the limits off. There's somebody looking at their situation and they're still letting that person in their ear tell them what they can't be, what they can't do, and what they can't have. That person feels like it's their job, but the person that you share it with needs to let them know that they're about to lose their job. So do me a favor, when you share the video, say must listen, must watch. I'm not trying to tell you what to say, but say something so they know why you said it. And when you share it, you're not sharing it for me. I'm already over here. I'm taking the limits off, right? I'm already doing what I'm supposed to do. And you're not sharing it for you. You already heard it. You can go back and listen to it again. You're sharing it for the person that doesn't even know they need to hear it, that they're going to stumble across it on your page, and it may be the thing that changes their life for 2021. You know why? Because your big takeaway could be their big breakthrough. Do me a favor, share the video, just listen, must listen, whatever you want to put. You can put take the limits off, whatever you want to put, but make a comment and share the video. I'm Dr. Ruben West, reminding you to live your best life. And And what? Do it now. Why? Because you only get one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll keep you posted on my status. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you.